Take care. Getting the floor all greasy.
Oh, no, so your sister's been coming.
Alright, sorry guys.
She's doing really good.
I remember that. You
Alright, welcome to the Blessings and Lessons AA meeting. My name is Jesus and I'm a recovering addict alcoholic. This is a open podium speaker meeting with intense therapy. Let's open this meeting with a moment of silence for the addict who's still suffering from bell to bell. You guys ready? All right. Is there anyone attending their first NA meeting? If so, say your first name so we can get to know you better.
Collins.
I'm sorry?
Collins.
Welcome, Paul.
Welcome, Collins.
Good. Most important person in the meeting.
Absolutely.
Newcomer.
Is there anyone attending from out of town? If so, please say your first name so we can get to know you better as well. We're all from out of town, right?
Yeah.
This is a pick on someone to share from podium meeting, but if you'd like to share, please raise your hands so we can call everyone in order. Share time is 10 minutes. If you share, you must listen to one speaker before leaving. Please do not have drugs or paraphernalia on you. This is for protection of the meeting place and the NA fellowship. Okay, so what's today, you guys? You guys know?
The fifth.
The 5th. Alright. I'm like, man, time's flying already. Can someone read who is an addict? This page is on 3. What is the NA program? Page 9. Okay, first is who is an addict? Page 3. Some volunteer.
I'm already at my
Alright,
well.
sounds good. Thank you, Jid. Okay.
Everybody's gonna go slipping and swallow their butt while you're looking this really greasy.
Sorry guys, that was my fault. I gave her the hand bone. Anyway, hi, I'm Shane. I'm an alcoholic addict.
Hi, Jid.
And you said page 3?
Page 3, please.
Perfect. Who is an addict? Most of us don't have to think twice about this question. We know. Our whole life and thinking was centered in drugs in one way, in one form or another. The getting and the using and the finding ways and means to get more. We live to use and use to live. Very simply, an addict is a man or a woman whose life is controlled by drugs. We are people in the grip of a continuing and progressive illness whose ends are always the same: jails, institution, and death. For those who have found the program of Narcotics Anonymous, do not have to think twice about that question. Who is an addict? You know, the following is our experience. As addicts, we are people who use as any mind-altering, mood-changing substances cause a problem in an area of life. Addiction is a disease that involves more than the use of a drug. Some of us believe that our disease was present long before the first time that we used. Most of us do not consider ourselves addicted before coming to Narcotics Anonymous program. The information available to us came from misinformed people. As long as we could stop using for a while, we thought we were doing all right. We looked at the stopping, not the using. As our addiction progressed, we thought of people less and less. Only in depression did we ask ourselves, could it be the drugs? We did not choose to become addicts. We suffer from a disease that expresses itself in ways that are antisocial and that makes detection, diagnosis, and treatment difficult. Our disease isolated us from people except when we were getting, using, or finding ways and means to get more. Hostile, resentful, self-centered, and self-seeking. We cut ourselves off from the outside world. Anything not completely familiar become alien and dangerous. Our world shrank and isolation became our life. We used in order to survive. It was the only way of our life we knew.
Gracias.
Thank you, Jane. Wes, can you go ahead and read how it works on page 17, please?
Yeah, he's a good reader, he's a good reader.
Yeah, I'll do that. On what page?
Page 17.
I am Weston. I'm an addict in recovery.
Hey,
Hey,
Wes.
Wes.
I brought my glasses in. How it works. If you want what we have to offer and are willing to make any effort to get it, then you are ready to take certain steps. These are the principles that made our recovery possible. 1. We admitted that we were powerless over our addiction and that our lives had become unmanageable. 2. We came to believe that our power greater than ourselves could restore sanity. 3. We made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4. We made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5. We admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6. We were entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7. We humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8. We made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9. We made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10. We continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, we promptly admitted it. 11. We sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to addicts and to practice these principles in all our affairs. It sounds like a big order, and you can't do it all at once. We didn't come addicted in one day, so remember, easy does it. There's one thing more than anything else that will defeat us in our recovery. This is an attitude of indifference and intolerance towards spiritual principles. 3 of these that are indispensable are honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. With these, we are well on our way. We feel that our approach to the disease of addiction is completely realistic for a therapeutic value of one addict helping another is without parallel. We feel that our way is practical, where one addict can best understand and help another addict. We believe that the sooner we face our problems within our society in everyday living, just that much faster do we become acceptable, responsible, and productive members of that society. The only way to keep from returning to active addiction is not to take that first thing or first drug. If you are like us, we know that one is too many and 1,000 is never enough. We put great emphasis on this, and we know that when we use drugs in any form or substitute one for another, we release our addiction all over again. Thinking of alcohol as different from other drugs has caused a great many addicts to relapse. Before we come to AA, many of us had viewed alcohol separately, but we cannot afford to be confused about this. Alcohol is a drug.
Period.
We are people with disease addiction who must abstain from all things in order to recover.
Thank you, Wes. Joey, can you read? Please read. We do recover on page 87, please. Please.
Geraldine.
Geraldine.
87?
87. Please. There should be a start and a stop. If there's not,
Oh, no, people.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
okay.
Okay, my name's Jolene, I'm a recovered alcoholic addict.
Hi,
Jolene. We do recover. Although politics make strange
bedfellows. As the old saying goes, addiction makes us one of a kind. Our personal stories may vary in individual pattern, but in the end, we all have the same thing in common. The common illness or the disorder of addiction. We know well the two things that make us true addiction, or make up a true addiction: obsession and compulsion. Obsession, that fixed idea that takes us back time and time again to a particular drug, or some substitute, or recapture the ease of comfort we once knew. Compulsion. Once having started the process with one fix, one pill, or one drink, we cannot stop through our own power of will. Because of our physical sensitivity to drugs, we are completely in the grip of destruction power greater than ourselves. When at the end of the road we find that we no longer function as human beings. Each with or without drugs, we all face the same dilemma. What is there left to do? There seems to be an alternative. Either go on as best as we can in bitter ends, jails, institutions, or death, or find a new way to live. In years gone by, very few addicts ever had this last choice. Those who are addicted today are more fortunate. For the first time in man's entire history, a simple way has been proven itself in lives of many addicts. It is available to all of us. This is a simple, spiritual, not religious program known as Narcotics Anonymous. Stop.
Recognize game time.
All right.
Who has it?
A new car.
All right.
Hi, Sharon, alcoholic addict.
Hi, babe.
At this meeting, we celebrate continuous periods of clean time. Does anyone have 24 hours?
All
Good
right. All right. Congratulations.
30 days. 60 days? 90 days.
Oh!
We have 30 days.
Check them right there.
What was your name?
Savannah.
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 Good job, Savannah.
All right, 90 days.
Okay, so we are out.
Give her the
Oh.
Can I get a 60 day? Because I didn't get my 60 day.
You were
Next time you
day.
We don't even have the 60
It's the
days.
blue one.
No, it's not, that's 6 months.
Oh.
I'll take that.
So, we're gonna do it. But I'll give you a hug.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a white one, and then, I do have the red one for 30 days.
All right.
Yeah.
Way to go.
All
Thank you.
right.
Yep.
Shows off big
All right.
I'll do that. 6 months?
I got till Tuesday.
You're pushing up again. That's a good deal.
9 months. 1 year?
Me.
Yeah, man.
Okay, thank you so much.
And then
Way to go.
Teaching in my coin back.
18 months. Multiple years. And how about just for today?
Does someone want to volunteer to read
No.
just for today?
Yeah?
I will since I'm up here. Hi, I'm just I'm an alcoholic addict. I guess you guys are gonna hear from me a lot tonight. January 5th. We can enjoy our families in a new way and may become a credit of them instead of embarrassment or a burden. We're doing great for our recovery, aren't we? We go to a meeting every day. We spend every evening with our friends in the fellowship, and every weekend we dash off to service workshop. But if things aren't falling into place at home, we're not doing so great after all. We expect our families to understand. After all, we're not using drugs anymore. Why don't they recognize our progress? Don't they understand how important our meetings, our service, and our involvement with the fellowship are? Our families will not appreciate the change NA is working in our lives unless we show them. If we rush off to a meeting the same way we rushed off to use drugs, what has changed? If we continue to ignore the needs and desires of our partners and children, failing to accept our responsibilities at home, we aren't participating in these principles in our affair. We must live the program everywhere we go, in everything we do. If we want the spiritual life to be more than a theory, we have to live it at home. When we do this, the people we share our lives with are sure to notice the change and be grateful that we have found NA. Just for today, I will take my recovery home with me.
Thank you. Alright, first one up, Collins.
Comer, woo-hoo.
You have 10 minutes, either, yeah, up to 10 minutes, so you can cut it short or you can go the whole 10 minutes. Go ahead.
Hello, good evening. My name is Collins Barney. I am from Linear, Montana.
Hey, Colin.
Welcome.
Welcome.
It's an honor to be here this evening. Just get to know you guys. I can feel you guys' energy. It makes me feel good too. Kind of nervous. First time I've ever been at a podium here before. But I'll get used to it as I keep coming to these, type of NA meetings. So I'm just blessed to be here today. The food was awesome. But yeah, I'm just grateful to be back on the right track, with my life. And I'm just thankful I'm getting another chance to, make my life right again. I relapsed like the beginning of the holidays, and that was a bad choice I made. But I gave in to temptation. The money was there. The store was right down the street. And man, I couldn't resist. I was missing my family, but we all learn from our mistakes. So I'm just thankful right now to be in front of you guys' presence, and it makes me feel good, and I know that we all make wrong choices in life, but we'll all learn from it, So I don't know about 10 minutes, but well, I'm trying.
That's fine. If you, that's fine.
Not me, I'm perfect though. I mean, I don't make mistakes.
I wish I was more like you. But yeah, I just want to be brief with you guys, and I just want to let you guys know, just straightforward that I'm just happy where I'm at right now tonight.
Thank you.
I'm thankful that I'm here instead of on the streets,
Yeah.
Coming back.
Yeah, I guess.
Mandatory suggested.
That's all I have. Thank you guys.
This place to keep the off.
Next, we have the birthday boy, Julio. Come on up.
Ready? I'm gonna turn it off.
Turn what off?
They turned the candle off on my cake.
Let's just sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Julio. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Julio.
One thinking.
Alright, here I go. My name's Julio and I'm Matt. Alright. Okay, this is the sixth time I get my year, right? And I've been in this since 2006 and I met the program, not the program, but I met the meetings in 2003, right? And I got out of penitentiary in 2003 and I was in a halfway house, right, in San Diego. And I seen this old school car, it was those Impala, 63 Impala. And I wanted to buy it, I just had my income tax. So I went over there and it belonged to a guy from the AA meeting, it was a rehab center. And then he goes, well, come inside, kick it when I get the papers and all that. I said, okay, and I went inside, I'm looking at this big old room with people sitting there talking, and over there is direct therapy. So shut the fuck up, asshole, I'm talking to you! Like that, so they're like, whoa, and I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck is this, But that's the way they do it, that's the way it was one of those meetings. Some meetings you cannot cuss, here you can. Here you can cross talk. We have intense therapy. You know what I mean? That's the way it's set up here. In other meetings, you cannot. You know what I mean? In other meetings, they don't have podium. You get to sit down. So when we started this meeting, you know what I mean? I kind of looked around to see how the meetings were ran in Central Oregon, and nobody uses podium. A lot of them don't let you cuss, and you cannot cross talk, and you cannot laugh.
We can
or
cross talk,
involve.
okay?
Yeah, I mean, you get to fuck around. You know what I mean? We're a little bit more wild here because we're coming from the straight streets. And they were telling me, you know, it's pretty good that you have the old timers, and I thought, I don't want old timers here. I really don't. You know what I mean? They're jackoffs. I want new people.
Yeah.
And the reason why I always say this,
Most important.
when there's some old timers that they become cops. You can't talk about that here. You can't say like that. Hey, you can't cross me. Oh, shut the fuck
Hey,
up,
I'm an old
dude.
timer.
Yeah, but you're good. Yeah, that's There's a lot of people that they say, hey, we got a newcomer. Yeah, what do you do? I use this and I use that. They start talking, right? And then they say, well, you should get a sponsor, you know? And I'm looking at the person, I say, well, fuck, aren't you a sponsor, asshole? Why don't you do it? You know what I mean? Sponsor. You know what I mean? But they say things that don't be, like, for example, I was telling one of my boys today, I told, you know, they say you should look for somebody that you could understand their story. How do you say it? Relate to their story, right? I was telling one of my guys, and that's not the way you look for a sponsor. You don't. You know what I mean? It doesn't work that way. You know? I'm gonna tell you why. In this program, the 12-step program, it's what it was, is when you're using, what happened when you were doing the steps, and how you are now after you did the steps. Those are the three that is supposed to happen. How it was when I was getting high, I drank a lot, I used a lot. What happened while you were doing the steps? What changed? Right? What it is like now, which means you finish your steps. What's going on now, right? If I'm a newcomer, I've never done the steps, you know, so I don't have what happened, and I don't have how it is now. The only thing I have is how it was. I got high, I got drunk. You know, that's the idea. So if I look for another asshole to be able to understand his story, I'm not gonna be able to understand how it was and what happened because I never done it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I say, oh, I can't. That guy can't be my sponsor because I don't understand him going through the steps. I've never done that. So why should I ask him? You see that? The only thing they have in common is how it was, which is I drank a lot and I used a lot. Oh, I have that. I understand. Hey, can you be my sponsor? Now you have two dumbasses. Yeah, I'll sponsor you that don't know if I've never done the steps and they've never had. So they're both in the blind. You know, and the person that did the steps has a spiritual candle lit, right? And instead of lighting yours, they tell you, make sure you look for a sponsor that you can understand. Bro, you're the one with the lit candle. Why don't you light it? That's the reason why. And then I heard some guys that when I was in Madras, they told me, hey, you gonna open a meeting? I said, yeah, I am. I said, I'm gonna do AA and NA. Oh no, you can't do that. I go, really? Show me in the book where it says I cannot do both. Well, it doesn't say in the book. It's just we say. I don't give a fuck what you guys say. I really don't. You know what I mean? You know how many religions are there because they care about what they say, but the Bible don't say what you guys say. So they don't give a fuck. I really don't. The guy goes, you can't mix both. I goes, yes, you can. I go, our NA program says we have adapted the program of AA, and we have adapted the 12 steps of AA, right? That's the idea. So we adapted that. AA, the doctor's opinion, says this. The guy that wrote it, the Dr. Stilwell, he wrote it for alcoholics and drug addicts. And there's drug addict stories in the back of the book, right?
Yeah.
And as the guy was telling me this, I said, okay, well, if that's the deal, then why do you guys use Dr. Bob? You guys can't use Dr. Bob. Dr. Bob was a pillhead. He used a lot of sedatives. That's like synthetic heroin. And he would drink. He's a drug addict that drank. As a matter of fact, Bill relapsed on LSD 20 years later. So you guys shouldn't be using Bill. As a matter of fact, you can even read the fucking AA because there's drug stories in there. The guy just looked at me. And the doctor's opinion, you guys can't do that. Rip the pages out. You can't do that. You see how dumb you sound? The guy goes, you're an asshole. You're a fucking personal desire guy, but I really don't care. I don't care for your personal desires. I really don't. You know, and the guy just looked at me. He didn't know what to say. People say shit because they have their head up their ass. You know what I mean? All they think about is shit. All they see is shit. And all they talk is shit. You know what I mean? That's it. And I don't really deal with them until I hear that pop of their ass, their head coming out of their ass. And I say, okay, now you get it. You know, now you get it. In the program, the fourth step is to be able to be free on the third step. It says we cross through an arch to become a free man. When you start your launch with the fourth step, check out how the part of religious is this book, right? With the Bible and all that. But it's kind of covered up because nobody wants to hear it. God, ooh, yeah, God, get away, I don't wanna go. This program, it's all about God. It's the only one that keeps us sober.
Hallelujah!
In our fourth step, when you read it, in the fourth step, it has, you gotta write a list of people that we harm, that harmed us, that we have resentments. You have people, institutions, then you have a sex list, right, for relationships. That's 3, right? And then if you look at the AA list, the example they give you, they have the name, the cause, and what is it that harmed you, right? There's 3. There's 3. So there's 3, 3, and 3. The reason why it's like that is, it's symbolic in our fourth step. That's symbolic. I didn't know this when I started doing it. When Peter, one of the apostles from Jesus, he changed his name. Jesus changed his name to Simon to purify him. His name was Peter. He goes, I'm gonna call you Simon now. To purify, because Peter was a jack-off. He drank a lot, he boned frogs in the fucking bars, and he was a real bad guy. So he changed his name, and he made him Simon. Okay, now he's purified and he walked with Jesus. When they grabbed Jesus, started beating his ass, and they crucified him, the people are looking at Jesus getting crucified, and one of them they looked at Simon or Peter, and he said, hey, asshole, you were with him. No, I wasn't, I don't know the guy. 1. The people turned around, hey, you were with him, you even talk like them. Nah, fuck no, bro, I never started talking shit. 2. And they say, get him, he's one of them. No, I'm not one of them. He started leaving. 3. Yes, stop reading my mind. God damn it. So after that, the rooster crowed. Yes, okay. So the rooster crowed, right? Okay. After that, Jesus died and he picks himself up. He really came back, right? He goes with Thomas, right? And Simon's right next to him. And then they see Simon's the one that saw him. Whoa, teacher, what's up, man? He goes, your guy saw you die. Simon goes, I don't believe that jack off until I put my finger on it. That's why they call him Doubting Thomas. But anyway, bottom line, Jesus told Simon, which is Peter, he goes, Simon, do you love me? He says, yes, Lord, of course I love you. 1. He says, then attend my sheep. Here, we're all his sheep. How do we attend his sheep? By making meetings like this for us to come together and be able to speak, to have a psychic change. And then he asked him again, Simon, do you love me? Simon kind of, yeah, of course I love you. He goes, okay. He goes, I want you to guide my sheep. How do we guide here? We do the 12 steps, one working with another. We guide you towards the light, towards the truth. After that, Jesus goes, Simon, do you love me? 3 times. And Simon kind of said, yeah, man, he didn't understand. He goes, yes, of course I love you. Why are you asking? He goes, well, make sure you pasture my sheep. That's the reason why we do 3 columns, right? And we do 3 lists. It's symbolic why Jesus told Simon 3 times. And it was because he denied him 3 times, so he was reborn again. That's what the 4th step does when we do it. We get reborn again. It's a symbolic thing. A lot of religions, they do it with water. They baptize you with water. And you're reborn again. They have different styles. Some do it with smoke. Some do it in sweat lodges. They have different ways to be reborn again. You know what I mean? But in our thing is the 4th step. And that's the reason why it's 3, 3, and 3. And then when you do it, your sponsor, once you're saying it, he does your defect column, which is the 4th column. You know what I mean? And that's when you do the 6 to take away your defects of character. We don't see them. I don't see them. You all defective, not me. You know? Yeah. You guys are defective. You guys are grouchy. You guys scream a lot. You guys want attention. You selfish motherfucker. That's just the way we are. But I don't see it in other people. But that's the idea. So I'll tell you guys this. I got tired. And I want to congratulate the new guy. I'm glad you're here, bro. That's pretty badass. You too, sir. That's cool. Thank you for coming. All these other jackalls, they've been here a lot. But check it out. This is what happened to me. I know you're starting to come by. Thank you. But check it out. This is what I got tired of. Cálmate, güey. Apaga esa madre. Check it out. Oh my God. No mames, güey. Check it out. Real quick. Ya para bajarme. There's this little elephant, right? This little elephant. This is the way my life was. Check this out. There's this little elephant that got sold to the circus, right? So they grab a baby elephant. They grab a nail and they put it on the floor. They grab a chain to the nail and they tie it to the elephant's hand. So the elephant's walking, he's yanking the chain, trying to get away, and he's just walking in circles, and he's yanking it. He can't fucking break the damn thing. He keeps going in circles and circles, and then he gets back again. He starts yanking and he can't break it, right? They feed him, they bring him water, food, and he goes to sleep, so he starts making his little groove, he starts getting comfortable, he's like, all right. Next day, he wakes up, trying to pull it again, he can't break it, he starts doing it, so they bring him food, and he goes to sleep, and he starts getting comfortable again, right? So now he has his little sleeping spot, he knows that they bring him food, but he can't break that fucking chain. So mentally, right, he says, I can't do it. Right? He gives up, mentally. But when he grows up, his brain is already where I cannot break that, because it's a cycle. He can't break that chain, so he don't even try. So he's going in circles, yes, in circles the whole time. He gets used to sleeping in the same spot, they bring him the food. Finally, one day out of desperation, like our book says, right, G-O-D, right, gift of desperation, he breaks that shit. He goes, oh shit, I fucking broke it. You know? So he leaves, he runs. Nighttime comes, he's hungry, there's no food, he wants to sleep somewhere, he's uncomfortable, like, fuck man, I can't sleep good right here. He already had his spot over there. Finally, he comes back to the same spot, going in circles with the broken chain. That's the way the newcomer comes here. We're so used to doing the same shit that when we stop doing drugs, we don't know no other way. So we always want to go back to the same places, same people, and doing the same shit, but we don't want to use until eventually we get screwed up and we start using to get well. That's the idea. We say, fuck, I can't believe I used. That's called insanity. We try to do the same thing expecting a different result. That's why when, and I always say this real quick, it says on our, how it works, it says the will not and cannot. Hallelujah! The will not and cannot, right? It says, you know, some people, like in my case, this is for me, it says will not and cannot be constitutionally honest with myself, right? And everything else, I'm honest. I can do this, say that, and I'm cool. But when it comes to the drug, I'm not honest, right? So when it says will not, people say, why don't you go to rehab? You're looking pretty bad. No, I can stop on my own. I don't need that shit. Why don't you go to AA, do the steps? I already know how to do it. I will not do it because I already know. That's the lie. It lies to me and I believe it. Then one day I finally break that lie and say, fuck man, I can't believe I'm doing it. I want to quit now. So now that I want to quit, I can't. That's the reason why we're here. Because we're smoking and our brain is telling us that's it, no more. And we can't stop using. We use against our own will. That's what binds us together. That's the reason why we're here. Right? Because we couldn't stop on our own will. That's called cannot. Will not and cannot. Now, to be honest, once I'm clean, the lie tells me I'm just going to use a small little bump because it's New Year's and I'll be okay. That's the lie that I continue to believe. I'm just going to use a small little. Once I use that, I'm done. I'm back in it. I'm allergic, so I break out in handcuffs. That's me. I break out and I go back to penitentiary. That's me. You know what I mean? I'm one of those guys. You know. So that's the thing I want to tell you guys. You know, thank you for the 1 year. You know, thank you for this meeting. This is pretty badass, and we're starting to grow.
Yep.
You know, we went to area to give our report and all that to be able to be part of the global NA. So you go to Redmond to do that, and we had some good feedback, huh? Everybody kept saying, "Hey man, we went to your meeting. It's pretty badass. I've never seen stuff like that." Because in other places, if you laugh too loud, they hit, "Hey, shut up, please. You're being shut up." I don't like stuff like that. You can't talk about that. Wow, show me in the book. You know, I'm one of those guys. You know, what I mean, I'm a kind of book thumper. And since I know it, there's not much they can really tell me about it. You know what I mean? Those are personal desires, because our third step, there's an actor that wants to lie in the camera. I know how to do it, and you guys don't. And if there's that type of person, that means they haven't done a third step. The third step says, I leave my will and my life to the care of God. So if you want it your way, you haven't done a third step. All right. Thank you. We're going to eat some cake. We're going to munch out. I'll let you guys talk, okay? Thank you.
Next is Jatang.
Oh. So you told you guys aren't gonna be done hearing from me tonight. I'm glad you liked your bones there. Linda.
Yeah, you got through that barrel in that one part.
Hi, I'm Jatang. I'm an alcoholic addict.
Hi, today.
I am so super grateful for everybody being here, and welcome for your first meeting. We're happy to have you here. You know, about 4 months ago, we only started out with 5 of us. I had a count.
Yeah.
With 5 of us, and now today, 4 months later, we have a group of people. Like,
That's awesome.
it is super duper awesome to see everybody's faces and keep coming back. You know, it makes us, at least it makes me happy to see everybody here and watching us grow. And somebody had told us, I do believe it was Friday, that our group here, shut up, phone. That our group here is helping the community. It is doing what it's supposed to be doing, and that was such a great feeling to know that we are actually helping. We are helping the suffering. We're helping the, you know, multiple years, months. Like, that's what our goal was to fill this room and help the suffering and the ones that we can, you know, bring in and show us, or show them that, hey, this is what it's about. We can make it fun. We don't have to sit around the corner, or, you know, a table and talk for just a couple minutes, not get our stories out, you know. We can actually vent pretty much and tell our life stories and help one another, and that's a blessing in disguise, hence the name. But it was an okay week for me. When I gave my testimony last week, I made a boo-boo. I know. I left out a huge part in my story, and I didn't realize that when I was up here and when I was typing it out over that last week. And really, when my drug addiction started, with most of you that did hear my testimony last week, right before I signed my rights over of my daughter, my little brother had actually passed away in a house fire on July 5th of 15, and about a month later is when I signed my daughter over, and that's when I started drugs. And my counselor and I kind of got down to the root bearing of that, and I couldn't handle life on life's terms, you know, like I already had lost my mom, I had lost my grandparents that had raised me, and then now I lost my little brother. And it hit me in a way that I didn't realize, and with all the trauma and the PTSD that I had, it broke me, and I turned to drugs. But I'm grateful today that I don't have to worry about that. I can actually talk about my trauma, my past, and heal from it, and get down to the nitty gritty. And I have to thank my counselor for that. I usually don't stay with a counselor longer than about 2-3 months. With this counselor I've been with him for 1.5 years now, and he has healed me in ways that I didn't know. He got down deep inside of me, pulling things out that I thought I had buried so deep that wasn't gonna come out, that has came out. And I'm realizing it's okay not to be okay. That it just take one day at a time, and we will get through it. My support system's there. It's just to pick up a phone call or drive over to their house. Like, it's okay. I have people, I have this group, and I'm appreciative of everyone hearing me ramble at times, because that's what happens. But it's okay. But this week has kind of been a little rough. It was good, and then it was rough, and then it was good, and I have more allegations on me now. As most of you know, that I have an open CPS case that started back in, I was gonna say Thanksgiving. It was right about Thanksgiving time. I got some more allegations thrown at me that weren't true. Caseworker came back out, talked to us, shut that down, and she told me on Thursday night when she came that she's not finding me on anything, and she is closing my case. And so I was like, it's been a rough battle, it's been stressful, it's been anxiety filled. I've taken it out on not only myself, but the kids, the family, James, and sorry. You know, it happens. Like, I've taken it out of everybody that was close to me when I shouldn't have, but I did. So I'm sorry for that. There was something I was going to touch on, and now I can't remember what it was. Dang it. You know, through addiction, there's lots of ups and downs when you're in a relationship with somebody. You get into a relationship with somebody when you're in addiction. Most of the time, from what I don't know how to call them. I guess the owner of the place that we went for rehab said it's very, very rare for us to go to rehab together and come out together and stay together. Like I said, we've had our ups and downs, we've taken our breaks, but ultimately, we've always came back together. And tomorrow, we will be celebrating our 9 years.
All right.
Being together. It's been a struggle, it's been happy, there's been arguments, there's been crying, there's, everything. But I'm just glad that we're both on the right track. We're getting our family together. We may possibly be buying our first home now. So we're gonna get that process started. So everything does happen for a reason in our lives and in our recovery and in our addiction. Because if we didn't have that, we wouldn't be the people we are today. It only makes us stronger. Every single day that we keep going and staying clean and sober and taking that 24, it makes us stronger people every day. And that gives us the strength to reach out and help other people. But again, thank you for everybody that showed up. Again, welcome. And I think that's all I've got for tonight.
Next, Savannah.
Sorry, Jenny. Sorry, Jenny. I'm all bumping her around.
I'm Savannah, addict and alcoholic. Thank you for the hug, by the way. I don't really know what to say. I didn't really think of anything. Happy New Year. I'm really excited about being able to say that I'm a year sober next year. I've been thinking about that a lot. It's been several years since I've been able to say I've been a year sober. So that'll be nice to be able to do again. I'm really excited for this year. I'm broke as fuck. I don't have basically a penny to my name, but I'm hopeful. I've got a couple of jobs lined up, or job interviews lined up. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully I'll be able to afford my bills next month. Not really sure what to say. I am really excited about this year though. I think this is gonna be the year. Even with everything going on, all the bridges I've burned, and funny thing, I ran into a coworker today, not face to face, but we saw each other from across the field, and I could feel the anger from across the field. Because I kind of left them high and dry. I was a bartender, and I just kind of walked out drunk on a shift and left my job like that. So left my team high and dry, and so I'm sure they suffered the last few months without me, being short-staffed. But didn't think that I would get such dirty looks for that. It was a little shocking. So even with everything that's been going on, and all the bridges I burned and fucked up, I'm just looking forward to writing things and getting back on track. And the last few months have been hard. I kind of gotten over that. What is it, the honeymoon phase? Where you're like, oh, I'm great, I'm sober, and then all of a sudden it's like, fuck, this is for life. Really? Okay, another second. Yeah, so I'm kind of gotten to that point, and it's a little stagnant, but I'm trying to stay active and focus on things that bring me peace and happiness. I've been getting out. I went out and ran out to, literally ran to Haystack today from my house, because I was I just needed to get out and expel some energy, and I didn't have anything to fucking do. And it's better than driving to the RDI, so I ran my happy ass around the corner and back. So, just finding shit to do. Yeah, don't really have anything else. I don't really know. If anybody has anything to do.
You do know, we're here.
Yeah. If anybody has any suggestions or anything fun or some AA events or some shit going on, let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Savannah. Next up, James.
Oh, no. I like it. good guys I know.
Yeah. James, I'm at it.
Okay.
So, decided since, there's a few new people here, it'd be a good time to just kind of re-share again, you know, we gotta go from the beginning. So it started out as a kid, like, did not liking myself, you know, like my parents, well, I said my parents, my mom used to part my hair to the side and, put me in those little t-shirts with a little lion on it. and I hated myself. I was a little square bear. And this is what I called myself. Society labeled that, you know. And so I looked up to the hood rats and the gangsters, whatever, you know, and I started looking up to them. And so I started trying to make myself into this person that I wasn't. I'm sure a lot of you could relate to that, you know. So I feel that it helps to go back to the beginning. So what had gotten me, what it's gotten me in the time that I tried to mold this character that I thought was going to help me survive on the streets, and that was going to be exactly what I wanted to be. I spent so long making, 2 years of my life, making. You know, it's gotten me a body full of tattoos. Most of them I don't want. Not most of them, some of them. And I've got a lot of scars. I've been held up in cars at gunpoint, ran over, held in houses and beaten multiple times. I didn't think I was gonna make it home. Several times. PTSD like you wouldn't believe. Been to jail, it said in jail cells, split my head open multiple times, brick walls and back of cop cars, been arrested multiple times, pulled a gun on police, like, drunk, blacked out drunk, abused my family, the ones who love me the most, my parents, kids, betrayed their trust. Got to the point that I didn't even believe myself. I didn't believe the word that came out of my mouth. You know, I remember saying here a while back, I was, my girlfriend was saying, why do you do this to us? My mom was going to say to me, why do you do this to us? I'm like, do this to you? You talking about do this to you? And I was like, I'm not doing it to myself too. You think yourself to hurt me? It's bugging me because I'm killing myself. You know, I'm hurting. My legs were swelling, my feet were swelling. I was going to beer and that would kind of smooth it over for a little bit. And then the high would kick back in because I was a meth addict, you know, and I had to have my meth. And then it was just going back and forth, and eventually the alcohol wasn't working anymore. My body was rejecting it and swelling, and I was hurting so bad that nothing was working anymore. And it's like, I was like, I tell myself I'm gonna stop, you know. I keep telling myself I'm gonna stop, and then I make it 2 or 3 days, get myself better, and I turn around and do it again. I can't even believe myself. And so that leads me to where I'm at now, you know. I sat in the back of meetings for 28 years. Okay? I started with, I'm going to share something my sponsor, Julio, shared with me. Hope you guys mind me piggybacking one of his really good comments that he's told me. Okay, so God gives out these white tickets. He does. He gives out white tickets to everybody. Everybody in addiction. Okay, so and those white tickets are the police that come to you to put you in jail. They come in the form of rehabs, probation officers, judges. Those are your white tickets. Those are to save you. Now, he also gives out black tickets. Those are where your family's got to dress in black and they come and bury you. If you've got a white ticket, you best keep that white ticket while you've got it. Because you'll only get so many, and eventually it's going to be that black ticket.
True.
And I gotta tell you, can't tell you how many times it's been that I've been so close to death. And why and how I'm here? It's God. It's God. It can't be anything other than that, you know? You see that there's just so many instances in our life of how God works. It's hard to do it when we're all loaded. And then when we get clean and sober, and when we start coming to places like the hugest thing, the day that's changed my life, 20 years of sitting in the back of the meetings and coming and listening in these rooms. I guess I wasn't listening. I was just there. And I wasn't listening. If I would have been listening, where it comes from is the working the steps. And from the day that I got down on my knees with my sponsor here, and I said, Lord, please help me to remove the obsession to use and to drink drugs and alcohol. ever since that day, my life has became manageable. I'm a truck driver and an forklift operator. I make great money. I went from a low-life tweaker and alcoholic for 20 years to a truck driver, a forklift operator. I'm on my way to buying my own house and property for me and my family. I have all my children. I have my own apartment. I have 6 months clean and sober.
Hallelujah!
So, I remember on this very last run, the last thing I'm gonna touch up on this very last run, it was at the point that I couldn't make it more than 2 to 3 days without going and trying to find it. I had to have a bag if I needed it. I had to have it, I get sick, and I needed, I don't know what was in it. I was starting to be convinced that it had fentanyl in it, whatever. I was hearing voices, I'd hear my kids while I was using, and then I go and check and it's like, well, there's nowhere near around. Like, that's weird. I hear my mom's voice, and it's nowhere near around. You know, I think that's that death creeping in. You know, I don't know for certain, and I don't want to know. Anyways, losing my point here. Where was it? Oh yeah, I had 2 to 3 days. That's the longest I could make it without using or drinking, and it was miserable. Now it's like when I have a craving. Ever since I started these steps, and with Julio here 6 months ago in 2 days, my life's manageable. When I do get a craving, it's like this. It's like the program works in spite of you. It's not even hard to get rid of those cravings. It's beautiful. I mean, I have to deal with other things. You know, the damage that I created with my kids. I have 5 kids. You know, and I've created a lot of damage there. And that's one of the huge things I'm dealing with right now, is trying to repair that. It's like I take 1 step forward and get 10 steps back. It's the hardest job on the planet, but it's the most rewarding, because those kids are going to have my back no matter what. If you're thinking thin, and that's what we need to realize and keep our eye on the prize. That our families there for us forever. They love us unconditionally, and these are our best friends, and they deserve it and they need it. So, I'm in the right place, working the steps. I can feel it when I don't work the steps. When I'm not in my book, my life starts going downhill. And I share this over and over again, and I don't think I share it enough. When I don't work those steps, my life starts going downhill, and I can feel it inside. In everything that I do, everything just starts to just kind of just go downhill. And you can see it quick. It's beautiful to be able to actually see it these days. I felt like everything happened so spontaneously, instantaneously. But our relapses have a start point before the relapse. You can actually see it when you start working the steps and you get to know yourself a little bit more. When God comes in there and starts working on you, you can actually see it before. Anyways, I'm just getting some kind of rambling, but I'm just happy to be here. And like I said, in 2 days we'll have 6 months, and I'm grateful for that.
Next up, me.
All right.
Hey family, my name is Jesus. I'm a recovering addict and alcoholic.
Hey,
It's good to be here. I do agree with my brother James here. As far as like when I'm not working the steps, life starting to hit rock bottom. I know that because I have a black eye right now. My year has been amazing, and I say this out of humorously, but it has been amazing, even though it hasn't, but it is. So New Year's, I got to spend it down in Seattle, Space Needle. The steps has given me the opportunity to heal damaged relationships with my son. Hasn't talked to me for 3 years. He's been mad at me for different many reasons. But let's focus on that he's actually talking to me now. So invited me down to Space Needle. Went down there, told me I was going to be a grandpa. I'm getting old, I know. So congratulations to me. Got to see the fireworks show down at Space Needle. It was amazing. Started off the year going smooth. So get back here, and for my brothers needed to ride down to, what was that at again, Tim? Where did we go where the car got stuck?
Three Rivers.
Where?
Out by Three Rivers?
Out by Three Rivers. I'm like, okay, whatever. He says it's far. I didn't think it was that far. It was pretty far. Long story short, in the last couple days, my car gets stuck